Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Whatever you are, be a good one. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep doing so until the end. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. The best way to predict your future is to create it. I walk slowly, but I never walk backward. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, the tree is the real thing. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. I would rather be a little nobody than to be an evil somebody. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. You cannot build character and courage by taking away a man's initiative and independence. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. I am not concerned that you have fallen. I am concerned that you arise. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. I have stepped out upon this platform that I may see you and that you may see me, and in the arrangement, I have the best of the bargain. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. Important principles may, and must, be inflexible. All that I am or ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of Earth. The struggle of today is not altogether for today, it is for a vast future also. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. Every person's happiness is their own responsibility. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as a liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. If I were to try to read, much less answer, all the attacks made on me, this shop might as well be closed for any other business. The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed. To ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. Truth is generally the best vindication against slander. He has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. I destroy my enemies when I make them my friends. Die when I may. I want it said by those who knew me best that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. It often requires more courage to dare to do right than to fear to do wrong. I am a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. I don't like to hear cut and dried sermons. No, when I hear a man preach, I like to see him act as if he were fighting bees. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new at all. Every man's happiness is his own responsibility. I am not concerned that you have fallen. I am concerned that you arise. I don't think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. If there is anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. No man is good enough to govern another man without that other's consent. I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. We cannot escape history. The legitimate object of government is to do for a community of people whatever they need to have done but cannot do at all, or cannot so well do for themselves in their separate and individual capacities. I desire so to conduct the affairs of this administration that if at the end I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be down inside of me. You have to do your own growing no matter how tall your grandfather was. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years.